Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes, so join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Back everyone to another episode of the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we help entrepreneurs and business owners achieve their 3 year goals in just 1 year. I'm your host, April, and today we'll be diving into what we call a live breakthrough for our guest, DeMarcus Brewster. And with us, as always, is the incredible Bimal Shah, who will be guiding through this transformative experience. Bimal, it's always a pleasure to have you here, and welcome, Demarcus.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having me here, April. Thank you very much. DeMarcus, you're welcome to be here. Enjoy to be here today with you and help you deliver a live breakthrough. For those tuning in for the first time, my name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and even get government grants and other resources to pay for it when you qualify. So, that's my whole business model. I invented the 4 leap system where I walk you through and guarantee on a 3 year goal in 1 year. So today we're going to achieve a live breakthrough, what we call is a foundational structure to help you structure something on what you need to do for the next 90 days. And we're going to do it in 15 minutes or less. So that's the goal for today. And it's our guest, Drew. And April is going to start the whole show. And I'm glad to have you all here. And also at the end of the show, for all those tuning in and listening in, I'm going to give away $100 gift card for my Amazon gift card for my books, so you can access all my books. So stay tuned, go through the whole show. You're going to get some amazing tips and strategies. And this is live, so nothing is staged. It's all happening on the spot. But neither of us know what's going to come next. So, April, you're on.
All right, let's dive right in. Drew, could you briefly tell us about your business? And if I had a magic wand, could you make all your business dreams come true? What has to have happened 3 years from today in your business to feel you had a meaningful transformation, both professionally and personally?
Oh, okay. Well, personally, I would say for all that to happen, you gotta have the right mindset. Like I do got a positive mindset in the midst of the chaos that's going on in the world. Even when chaos comes against my life, I gotta keep a positive mindset. But my main thing is like I said, it's finances. Like I am an author. I'm a podcast. I do have a clothing line, but like I spoke with Shah, and my biggest thing is getting my podcast monetized. That's my whole thing. Cause I feel like if I can get my podcast monetized, I can actually use that money to fund everything else. Cause I've been doing my podcast for maybe 2 years now, and I upload an episode almost every day. And as I spoke with Shy, I hope I'm saying your name right. Excuse me if I'm not. I apologize for that in advance. But it's like every time somebody reach out to me and say they gonna sponsor my podcast, want me to sponsor them as business owners, it's like they never reach back out when I call them, I text them, send them an email. It's like I never hear from them again. And they kind of get me down a little bit because I don't like my time being wasted. I don't like wasting everybody else's time. So personally, it's the mindset thing. It's the mindset personally. If I can continue to grow mentally, because I do a lot of reading and meditation. But like for us, like the finance, I feel like if I can get my podcast sponsored, I can use those funds to do other things.
All right, so let's talk about podcast monetization and getting sponsorships, and I'm going to give you a clear structure. So the first thing, the first concept that we have to understand when we do podcasts is givers gain. So when you're doing podcast, we want to create value. So with this podcast, what I'm doing is I'm creating value for the listeners and the subscribers where they listen in and they tune in to see what's going to come next. What am I going to learn? How can I apply? How can I see value? And once they see the value, they want to reach out to you and you give some tools and resources. So that's the value of the podcast. You consistently in your podcast want to provide value, and then you want to have the VCR formula for monetization. So that is your big vision. So your big vision is not just having people on your podcast pay you, but from your podcast, you make connections that people pay you. Okay. So that's a different mindset that you have to have. That, okay, I'm going to connect to folks. People are going to listen into podcasts. I'm going to send it to people, and then they're going to reach out and I'm going to do business. Now that the first V stands for vision. Vision means that you have to have a big vision that's laid out clearly, not just that I want to make money from my podcast. You have to have a clear 3-year goal that lines out that, for example, I want to have X number of revenues from X number of product or services paying me X for X journey. So then you have for example, I have a 4-leap system where I take
Yes.
entrepreneurs on a 3-year goal in 1 year. So I have a goal that I want to take X number of entrepreneurs on a 4-leap system to pay me X. Now, whether they connect me through podcasts, to my subscribers, through my emails, through LinkedIn, through connections, through referrals, through networking engagements, to speaking engagement, it's a different story. But that's, the goal. But for folks who don't go into that, I have different platforms. I have books, I have online courses, I have webinars, I have workshops. So this is where you create and digitize your knowledge, and you create a platform. Now, once you have that vision, you need subscribers, you need people that you reach out to. Okay. So many people, when I ask, the question is, how do you get customers? Oh, I do networking, I speak to people, I go to events, I get for referrals. So I tell them, okay, it's your time that is getting you customers. So you spend your time fishing. You fish for 1,000 prospects, maybe 10 turn into clients. Now imagine the time you spent to fish for clients, right?
Yes, sir.
Rather, you can have a system that does the fishing for you. So now you spend your time with your clients and you're no longer fishing. So that is an 8-stage system that, you will get in today's podcast when you go to the show notes. It's the marketing system, that's a before, during, after. So the first thing is you have a list of ideal 5-star prospects. Then we reach out through a 25 touch point system. Once you get to a 25 touch point system, you give them an irresistible first offer. Once they accept your first offer, they go on a journey that's a dream come true journey that's monetizing for you and value for them. Okay. So, and
Yes,
your
sir.
monetization is 1/10 of the value or 1/5 of the value that you create for them. So if they get a value of 100,000, you get 10 grand. If you create a value of 1 million, then you can make 100,000. So the more money you want to make, the more value you need to create. You have to take 1/10 of the value that you create for someone. It's very easy for someone to pay 1/10 or 10% of what you give to them. Am I correct?
No, you correct. I'm just listening. Like, look, I know when gems being shared. I'm just listening.
All right. So that's and the reach is how you reach them. And once you get them into journey, then you multiply them and get each one of these ideal 5-star prospects to give 3 or more referrals. So that's the big picture strategic blueprint. We're going to give the show notes, in the show notes, this marketing scorecard. You can click on that link and you'll be able to access the resources and this whole system that I spoke about and walk through it step by step for all the listeners and for you as well, Drew.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I did call you on the IR app because my conscience was telling me like you need to reach out to him, and I'm glad I did take the time and put my pride to the side and call you because like, you got good energy and like what you got going on. It's very professional, but I know it can help me on my journey.
Yep. So instead of your time, use a system. Let your system do the work for you.
Make a lot of sense. Love it.
Thank you for those insights, Bimal. That advice really lays out a clear path for Drew to follow, right, Drew?
Yes. Who is? I'm
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus. Are you talking to me?
Either
Oh,
DeMarcus. We call you Drew.
DeMarcus.
Nah,
My
it's cool. Look, I'm sure you said Drew. It's like you put my first name
Oh,
in
my
the last.
serious, sincere apologies, man. I have to apologize to you on the show live, and I have to apologize to the audience for getting the name wrong. Some because
Uh,
there were two people who did the podcast live breakthrough, and there was another person, Drew. So I got confused between the two of you. So my
that's cool.
so DeMarcus, thank you very
Yes,
much.
no problem.
We stand corrected for that, Marcus. And now, DeMarcus, what are the biggest challenges, obstacles, and threats standing in the way of you achieving your goals?
I can say it's the finances. It's like it's that's like the big key. Like I work a 9 to 5, but like I said, I'm married. I still have to pay bills. But like if I can get like another stream of income coming in, I know I can use the finances to fund everything else. Because my biggest goal, and I don't share this with a lot of people, because I feel like if your dream is not big enough to scare you, it's not. I mean, your goal not big enough to scare you, it's not a goal. But my dream, my goal is to be a philanthropist, and I want to help. The more I make, I want to give and help people in like foreign countries who can't, number one, don't have access to clean water. So that's why finances, because I don't want to just help me. I want to help the people that need to be helped.
So I would
So,
suggest, first thing when it comes to cash flow and money is a cash flow with a K, not a C.
ooh,
And
I like that.
so K stands for knowledge. You don't have to, like, you're getting knowledge right now. You can acquire knowledge through many other resources. So knowledge is widely available, but you want to seek knowledge that is aligned to your imagination. So
Can I say
don't
something?
go ahead.
It's funny, but Seeking Knowledge is the name of my podcast.
Right. Awesome. Now, the key thing is a lot of people are seeking knowledge, but then they are just seeking knowledge. They're not doing anything with it. They're just information junkies where they keep on just listening to webinars, listening to seminars, listening to this YouTube video, listening to that, listening to this, listening to that podcast list. But what are you doing with what you learned? So you want to seek knowledge that is aligned with your imagination. Because when knowledge is aligned with your imagination, you take action. Okay, it no longer remains just a knowledge piece, because now you have this dream and you got this knowledge, you put the two together, you can get rocking and moving, right? So that's number one. Number two is attitude. Attitude is the only word in English language that totals up to 100. So if you take each alphabet in that word and assign a number, A stands for 1, T stands for 21, and you add up all those numbers, it is adding up to 100, and it's the only word in English language. No other word adds up to 100. So attitude is extremely key, which means you need to start with a positive attitude throughout the day. And the most important attitude is being grateful all the time, no matter what happens. Okay. So because that's why it's called gratitude, great attitude, right? Gratitude.
Oh, I like that. You look, I know you cold. I like that. I'm using that.
Okay. So S stands for, have you ever heard that your passion, follow your passion and make some money? A lot of
Yes,
people
sir.
say that, yeah, follow your passion, you'll make money.
Yes, I heard that several times.
That's BS.
I know.
Because it's your skill sets that make you money, not your passion. You can have the greatest passion on this planet, but if you don't have the skill set to convert your passion into money, you can't convert or monetize. So, for example, in your Seeking Knowledge podcast and all that, if you have the ability to speak and share and do the podcast and do all of these things, and you have that energy, You have a skill set to share that and you can monetize it. H stands for habit. Every day you need to have certain habits that are very, very essential that make you money, and certain habits that just drain money. So it starts with your daily habits on what you do with your money. Even small things add up. It's the latte factor. If you have a habit of going and drinking Starbucks all the time, if you add up all the Starbucks coffee, you would have already had $1 million.
Mm,
So even if you just take that $5 coffee 2 times a day at 8% for 15 years, that's $1.2 million. So imagine, how much you're spending on coffee. Um, so habits are key. F stands for finish line. And this is one of the things, a lot of entrepreneurs, when you, like yourself, when you make money, you will try anything and everything to monetize. And then you have a lot of things going on at the same time, right? But
yes,
not
sir.
a single element has reached the finish line. So when you have a lot of open projects, a lot of open files, a lot of open tasks, things like that, you don't reach the finish line and you don't make money. L stands for leverage. So leverage what you got and leverage what you can get. So you can get grants. Like I do, one of the things I do is grants. So if you don't have money, I can help you get money from the government, from resources. If you're struggling in business, reach out to me. Maybe there's a grant that I can get for you that can help you grow, and we can have your uncle pay for it. So that is, leverage what you got and leverage what you can get, both.
Yes, sir.
O stands for omnipresence. It starts with, the fewest number of prospects. You could have as little as 10 prospects who are going to give you the biggest check. So the most important thing is, who are your prospects, your biggest check prospects. And with that 10 prospects, you want to be present everywhere. That's where you start. And if you can get 3 out of those 10, that's a great start. That's how you start monetizing. And once you start monetizing, you then reach out to your subscribers, because your subscribers are looking for your reach. If you do not have a reach and you say, I have a podcast, I'd like you to be, paying you, you want your people to pay you for your podcast. Why would they pay you? Do you have an audience that you reach out to? What is the size of your audience? How often they tune in? What do they get? What is the gain, the benefit to the person who's going to sponsor your podcast, right? So you have to, the reach is the most important. Like when you advertise, look at all the advertisers. When a television asks for, when a Super Bowl asks for $1 million for an ad, why do you think they ask $1 million for a 10-15 second commercial? Because how many people are tuned into the Super Bowl on that day?
Thousands, maybe even millions.
Billions, right? So they can say, okay, your $1 million is going to reach this crowd of 1 billion. And then they do the math, and it makes sense to make that $1 million payment for the advertiser. So that's the reach is so important. Without that reach, you will not be able to monetize. So if you want to monetize your podcast, you need to build up your reach. And we build you a list. We build you a list of ideal 5-star prospects that you can, so immediately you have your reach just like that.
Yes, sir. It make a lot of sense.
Cool. Awesome.
Appreciate that
Awesome.
knowledge.
We got a few more questions, that we can go through and then help you deliver a live breakthrough.
Well, I appreciate that, Bimal. Even me, myself, listening here, I get to learn from you too. And it's so amazing. Your advisor definitely sheds light on how to tackle those challenges heads on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, mhm. DeMarcus, let's talk about opportunities now. What is the biggest opportunity you need to capture to make your 3 year goal in 1 year?
I would say, number one, like I said, always gonna be the mind. Make sure the mind right, cause you can connect with people. Like say you attract who you are. So if I connect with keep my mindset positive and connect with the right people and the right sponsors, I know I can take my podcast and my entrepreneurship to the next level. So my opportunity is to connect with the right people, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. The question is, how do you connect with the right people that have the right mindset, right? That is the key. You can have the right mindset and you want to connect with the right people. The next question is how?
Just by going to events and place myself around.
Okay. I want you to make another word from the word how. What's another word you can make from the alphabets? How? HOW.
If I can remove a letter,
No, all three letters. Make another word from how.
what? Oh, you got me with that. Go on, say it. Hold on. How? HOW. Switch them words up. One, not one. Wow. Wow.
Wow has two W's. So
Yeah, you got me with.
whenever you're stuck on the how, you look for the who.
Who? Yes, I wouldn't even. You know what? You got me with that. Like I wasn't even thinking about who.
So 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 I am the who can build you that list of the right people with the right mindsets. So you don't have to waste time spending your time going to 50 different events, hoping that your right prospect, Jerry, is in front of you and and then you spend your time. Like I said in the beginning, you can spend your time fishing for people, or you could have the list of the right 5-star prospects fish in front of you and just fish for those fish at the right time. Like, if you want to catch a grouper when you go fishing, if you know when the groupers come, if you know what the bait they need, and you go in the right spot when they arrive, all you have to do is put the bait and you catch a grouper. Otherwise, you're like the other fishermen who put that big fish out there and
that
then
net in there.
and then they spend all their time sorting. So, you don't want to be doing that. And that's what you're doing right now. So the list will change all
Mm,
of
I like that. You got me with that word though.
it. All right, cool. So
Mm,
I believe that you have some live breakthroughs to, incorporate in your business and monetize and have a structure and strategy on how you can monetize your podcast and build the whole system.
yes, sir. I would definitely love to keep in touch with you and just read your books, your opportunities, like your course. I'm gonna stay in touch with you. Whether I call you once a week on the hour, I'm definitely gonna, cause I know that my journey is beautiful, it's bright. But I know at times I had them roadblocks, and sometimes it be my mind, my way of thinking that can hinder a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. That's why I say I focus more on my mindset. But I would love to stay in touch with you because it's just something about you, man. Like your energy, the program, your strategy. It make a lot of sense, and it's so simple, but it's powerful.
Absolutely. So people who make simply powerful things are the people who take things to the next level.
I do agree,
So make things
man.
simple and powerful. Awesome. Awesome. So you have $100 gift card. And for all the listeners too, who are tuning into this podcast, either on YouTube or you got the email or you're listening to my channel, click on the show notes below to get the $100 Amazon gift card and the other tools and resources as well.
Definitely gonna do some homework.
That's a great advice, Vimal. Even me here, I was also thinking of what other words should I come up with?
You got it.
How?
You got
Right? And yeah, you're so right. Like focusing on the right opportunities really could be the key to fast tracking success. It's mind blowing. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're
It's
welcome.
not just Marcus here learning from you. I'm also learning here.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
learning.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Well, DeMarcus, I'd like to know what makes you unique and different from everyone else? Or why should your ideal customers come to you uh, versus going to someone else?
Follow the trend. Like I do follow the trends, but I create my own trend, and I think different from everybody else. Like where everybody want to go this way, go left, I'm gonna go right. It's just my level of thinking and the things I overcame in life, like for foster care, drug abuse, molestation, and homeless. A lot of people wouldn't would have gave up. Like a lot of, if you read my first book titled From the Hood to the Church, the things I went through in there, a lot of people would have gave up. So I know that I was placed here for a reason. Like I know my story and what I went through is to help other people. It's just like my story of triumph, what I overcame, make me a unique person. Like most people would have just threw in the towel, but I didn't. I just kept going even when it got hard.
So I would suggest, your story is amazing, Marcus, and the way you need to say it is what matters the most. So when you say from the hood to church, that is what you need to be talking about, because that's when you attract the right people who want to accomplish that. So, and you would have, you would talk to the people who are in that, hey, you've been through this, I can get you this, so when you ask that what makes you unique, you want to give a very demonstrable visual and result, that I'm going to take you from point A to point B. And
That
that's what
make a
I,
lot of sense.
instead of just saying I'm going to, because everybody can say, I insert, you can talk about your beliefs, you can talk about your opinions and what makes you unique, but that does not matter to the person who's listening.
And you know
What
what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's funny you said that, but I'm actually working on an online course. I got a brother from another mother, and we actually started yesterday working on an online course. And that's why I shared that my story of what make me unique, because I'm actually working on an online course titled "Using Your Story." I forgot the name of it. What it's called? The power of using your story to gain generational wealth or some of that nature. But I'm actually putting together an online course, and it will be done by the end of this month. I want to take my time with it because I know I have a lot to offer.
So that's
Not
that's
over.
what you need to do. You need to talk about your journey, and you need to talk other people who want to have that same journey. So for example, when I talk about, I say we take to your 3-year goal in 1 year through 4 90-day leaps. It's very specific. And I say, okay, we're gonna go through these in 4 90-day leaps, and you're gonna achieve that on a guaranteed basis, from your 3-year goal in 1 year. And this is how you take you there. So that's what makes me unique, is nobody else is doing it. It's only me.
I like
Similarly, if you come up with a result that only you can deliver, and you talk about that result to someone else, people are attracted to a result more than an opinion.
I agree with you on that.
Okay,
I
so
agree.
talk about a result that you can deliver with your experience and what you've been through. And that's all you need to do to make yourself unique.
Yes, sir. I love it.
All right. I hope this has been very helpful. Thank you for being here, DeMarcus. I got that right.
Yes, sir. No, thank you all for having me. Like this has been really amazing. Like for real.
Awesome. Awesome. So, listeners and people who are watching this show, please be sure to tune in and utilize the gift card and other tools and resources. April's going to put that out. She's an angel. She's doing a lot of work for me. So, April, thank you for being here as well and hosting this podcast.
Big thank you to you and to you also, Marcus, for sharing your journey with us today. Bimal, thank you so much for your insights. You have been and always incredibly helpful. For our listeners, if you want to take advantage of your resource and tools mentioned in today's episode, don't forget to check the links in our show notes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Make yourself a pioneer, achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year.
No,
Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.